Hey! Hello, folks, and welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Dave, the other guy is Scott. Today we are... Stop waiting. We are reviewing 1960s 13 Ghosts, the original version. Its director was William Castle, who is notorious for being quite the showman for his movies. Written by Rob White, starring, let me get down there because I got to get my glasses on, Charles Herbert as Buck Zorba, Joe Moreau. I was trying to think of the girl's name, the younger girl,
Medea?
as Media Zorba. Her real name, I could not remember it. Martin Milner. Did you recognize Martin Milner? That was Benjamin Rush. That was the lawyer.
Yeah. I recognize him, but I don't know from where.
Two things. The thing that I always recognize him from initially is Adam 12. He was the older cop that took the rookie under his wing. Then he was also the bad guy in Roadhouse. He was one of the bad guys in Roadhouse.
Oh my God.
I think it was Roadhouse. One of the movies that we
even if it's not, there's never a wrong time to talk about Roadhouse. So it's okay.
The original one. I don't know about the new one.
I don't know what is this that you speak of. I know nothing.
It's evil. It's evil is what it is.
It must be.
Rosemary DeCamp as Hilda Zorba. Donald Woods was Cyrus Zorba. One of my favorite actresses of all time. And the joke that comes out of that little boy's mouth when the lawyer first shows up to the house. Well, who's here? Just the witch. Guy knocks on the door, and Margaret Hamilton answers the door.
All right.
It's the sister that answers the door. Margaret Hamilton is standing.
He was waiting for Elaine to show up. But do tell me, where have we seen this actress before? Because she is so familiar to me.
You're kidding me. Yeah, Margaret Hamilton.
I'm drawing a blank, dude.
A witch.
Is it?
I'll get you and your little dog too.
Okay, dude. And here's the thing. This movie's
monkeys fly.
Stop. I know. I was like, she looks just like her, but
really?
Hear me. God damn it. Hear me out. This movie is 1960.
Yeah.
That was
30 years later.
But she looked old as shit in that movie.
Well, she was 19 or 20.
Was she 100 in this movie?
She was 19 or 20 when she did Wizard of Oz.
And that is why, see, my brain said, that is the witch. Janine said it, and it's like, the math doesn't work. It does if they make
Maxwell House coffee commercials.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Good to the last drop. She had the little general store that everybody would come into.
Yes. Son of a bitch.
But the joke, wow. I died when the little boy said she's a witch. And then you see Margaret Hamilton standing at the top of the stairs, and I'm dying. Kat and I were just like, oh my God, that's a great joke.
It is.
And I'm really glad because I thought for sure you would catch that. But I'm glad that you knew who she was, because sometimes when I'm like all excited about a person, you're like, I have no idea who the person is.
Dude, here's
and I've done that to you whenever you're telling me a story. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I recognized her. It drove me crazy because I missed the joke at first. I was like, but then it started. Right. Okay, so then I got there, and then I started doing the math, and it's like, no, they wouldn't have taken some 20-year-old. I guess they did.
Yeah, that was the joke. That's what's so funny. But that's the kind of thing that the writer used to do. Or
that's awesome. That's awesome. I'll be goddamn, man.
John, this guy looks familiar. Again, he looks familiar. Don't know where he's from. John Van Drleen was Van Allen. That was the guy, his boss, Zorba's boss at the museum.
At the museum, yeah.
Yeah, and he looks familiar, but I could not place him. So I know I've seen him in other stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then there's other people in there that I'm not even going to bother talking about. Well, let me talk about this guy, William Castle. Uncredited. I don't know where he was other than in the beginning of the original movie when they showed it at the theater. You and I were talking about this. We thought it was a 3D movie. It wasn't 3D. What it was, here's what's really, it's even cooler than 3D. What it was is it's black and white, but if a red hue came over the screen, you had this visor. The top visor was blue or red, and the bottom visor was blue or red. Each visor was a different color. And if you wanted to see the ghosts, you held up the opposite color of whatever color was on the screen,
So this
so you could see the
early.
ghost. And if you didn't want to get scared, you didn't watch that. You pulled down the other visor so you couldn't see the ghost. And I
Oh,
was
how
like,
cool is that? What a gimmick.
how cool is that effect? And what a gimmick. But that's the kind of stuff this guy did. I think he did the Tingler too, where
Ah,
some of the seats
yes.
in the
Would
theater had
would
like
would
like
shut.
vibrators, like you get a shock, but it was really just like a little vibration whenever the Tingler would come out on the screen,
So
and people would scream because you're not ready for it.
let me mention something about that because there's an insect museum. I don't think they have this anymore, but the insect museum in New Orleans
Uh-huh.
had a Bugs Life movie that they touted 4D. And that's exactly
Right.
what it was. When there were like you see spider webs shoot on screen or whatever.
Yeah.
There was little air jets underneath the
Yeah.
seats that would blow on the back of your legs, and it was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they'd shake and they'd vibrate, and there'd be get mist, and it was really cool. And it's like, wow,
Those are cool.
yeah,
Kat and I went to one in Virginia. I forgot some little jungle safari type thing. I forgot what it was called, but they had like a movie projector there that was a 4D thing. And we're
yeah,
sitting there, we're like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's 3D. We got the glasses on. Then all of
yeah,
a sudden, like you're going down a river and the water sprays, and they had like little water shoots that would just spray the water. Not a lot, but enough to
yeah,
where you're
just
like,
enough
oh
to.
shit,
uh,
you're not ready for it. That's cool.
That is
But
cool.
what I know what I thought
That's
about this
neat.
movie. I finished it last night, and you finished it today.
Yeah, I
Let
finished it a little while ago. Yeah.
start. I talked too much already.
Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead.
fine. Okay, so this is a fun movie. It really is. Buck is my favorite character because he's like, maybe there'll be a murder tonight. But yes, Buck, you are gonna get your wish. So, folks, if you've only seen 2001's 13 Ghost, they are very similar movies, but totally very different.
Yeah.
2001 is a straight up horror film, gore, violence, intense, very stressful. This is a ghost story. It's fun.
Yeah.
My only complaint is the sounds that the ghost would make. Besides the and then the others, it sounded like some gibberish, beep, 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 like some little
Yeah.
creatures. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
why? But I loved knowing that this movie was set up to be like a 4D or one of these
Right.
little interactive to go on. It
Yeah.
explains the editing choices in it because some of the
Uh-huh.
scenes go on very long, but they're showing you the ghost.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's cool and it makes sense because that's what it's. I watched it thinking this obviously was done for 3D. Yes and
Yeah.
no. So
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yes and no.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So very very cool. It's a fun movie. Um, I enjoyed it. It's neat. It holds up. The effects are what they are. Look at the time frame.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's
In the
fun.
time period where this movie happened, I was actually expecting not scary. I was not expecting to be scared at all. What I was expecting is a little bit more melodrama. I was
Mhm.
expecting it to them wanting you to be scared, but not really scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've seen movies like that. I not quite along the lines of Spider Baby because that was creepy. Those girls were just
Well,
creepy. Everything about
Spider
that movie
Baby was clearly
was
rated
good.
R. Spider Baby was clearly in a more mature film. This
Exactly.
this felt like a Disney film. So
Almost, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like the guy, the main bad guy, is actually killed off screen
yeah,
for the most part. He's held down when it happens, but for the most part, he's killed off screen. Really.
yeah.
Um,
It's very it's tame. It's a
yeah,
fun movie. I think
I
it's
enjoyed it.
safe for the
I
whole family. Yeah.
the little boy is funny.
Oh, he's
My
great.
two
Buck is
favorite
great.
people in the movie was Buck and Hilda. Is that her name?
Who the
Margaret Hamilton's. Oh,
Oh,
Elaine
Elaine.
Zacharides. Zacharides.
I
Elaine.
don't know.
Um,
The witch.
those were my two favorite characters because when she finally starts talking, she tells you everything. But the way she's telling the guy what's going on there's no reason for you to believe her. You think she's lying? You think she's like behind shit?
You
You
do,
just,
you do. I do like at near the end
yeah,
when she holds a broom and it's like there's the
yeah,
joke again, and it's very
yeah,
obvious. I mean, she looks
yeah,
just like, and again, the math was not computing for me because I didn't know that she was that
right.
young in Wizard of Oz. And
Oh, yeah,
we have, in all this time we have never reviewed Wizard of Oz, so maybe it'll have to come up.
we got to do Wizard of Oz. I'm
Of
sure
course we do.
we haven't, have we? Oh my
No, we
God,
have
that
not.
is a classic.
It
I
absolutely
still think
is.
we ought to review uh Song of the South. I think we
Sure,
just ought to do it. Just the
absolutely.
heck with it. Do Song of the
Yeah,
South.
I'm down with it. I'm down with it.
Well,
Absolutely. I've got it around here
Wizard
somewhere.
Wizard of Oz is ahead of its time, but Margaret Hamilton had a really, you would have thought that she had no career after Wizard of Oz, but she did. She had a good career.
Well, yeah,
And
because
with
she
this
really
movie,
wasn't green skinned.
no, she
So,
wasn't, oddly enough. But it's funny because I saw her in this and I chuckled and I was like, I wonder why she did this. And then I thought to myself, because she has a sense of humor. That's why.
and it's a
Somebody,
paycheck.
oh yeah, and you know this guy. You know he went to her castle, went to her, and was like, "This is the joke. This is
Yeah.
you. If I don't have you, I don't have the joke." And she probably went, "Well, you're right. You don't have the joke. Here's
Maybe.
a couple extra zeros on that paycheck. You got me. You
Yeah.
got your joke." But
Yes.
the whole movie is basically these two people and their kid. The guy's a flake. The woman evidently can't keep the books, or the husband is just
He's so
poor
forgetful.
about everything.
He's bad with finances. He's a smart
Yeah.
guy, but all their stuff keeps getting repossessed, and it's kind of funny at the
Yeah,
beginning when the movers are taking everything and waiting for her to get off the chair because she's on the phone, and they're
yeah.
just taking it out from under her. And just like that, they inherit a house and a place to live, and
But
that's the setup.
did you see how the mover got her off the chair?
Yeah,
He reaches down and pinches her on the ass and she jumps up. And then he grabs the chair and walks out with it.
yeah,
But they lose the house. Here's what's funny. They lose everything. Of course, everything's walked out. They're still having the party for the kid, the birthday party for the little boy, Butch. Butch?
yeah.
And
No, yeah. What? Damn it,
Buck. Buck.
Buck! How did he turn into
Butch
Butch?
Butch was
That was
uh
Ben. Anyway, the kid's birthday wish is to have a place to live with furniture. And
right.
just like that, a telegram comes.
Well, the wind comes in first.
Yeah. Yeah.
The wind blows out the candles on his cake. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I would not have answered that door.
I know
Like, nope,
it
nope.
was kind of
I'm
creepy.
white, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it was creepy, but I mean that's pretty much the setup. They end up getting this mansion, a place to live, with the stipulation they have to stay in it, and it comes with the ghost.
Yeah,
It's a fun movie.
yeah. And I just like how they're so nonchalant about it. They're
I'd take
nonchalant.
it.
They're at the new house. They're playing with a Ouija board. The kid almost gets killed, and they're still all pretty
I
nonchalant about
know,
it. Like,
right?
hey, what about that? Oh, I don't know. That's crazy that my only son almost got murdered by a freaking painting that fell. Could have killed. Son, it's about to bedtime, don't you think? Junior, yes, Pa, I'm gonna go to bed now. The nonchalantness is what made me love this movie. Like I'm
Yeah.
watching this going, I would have been out of the house. The
No, like,
moment I saw the moment I saw that little disc for the Ouija board floating around and point at me that I was gonna be the
yeah,
one to die, boom, out that door. You'd have seen a smoke and a streak, and it would have been Dave gone.
I know. See, how
Blind
does
people.
how do they? I mean, they were just so nonchalant about it. You're right, and that's what was great. It's like,
That's
how it
what made
goes.
that
Yeah,
little boy was just as close to psychotic.
I
He
know. Maybe there'll be a
he
murder
reminded me
tonight.
he reminded me, I think it's a music. I think the name of the musical is Meet Me in St. Louis. There is a little girl in this movie who's just a total nutcase demon. Like she says some of the most psychotic stuff. And this little boy reminded me of that character. And I'm watching it and I'm laughing like, oh my God, this little boy what is going to happen with him? Like I was expecting like him to be possessed by ghosts and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's even funnier because he goes into the kitchen when all the shit's going on. Like there's a ghost in the kitchen, folks, and they like making a mess, and the mom's freaking out. She's like, I don't know
The
what the hell
kid don't
this
care.
just started happening. And the kid comes in and he starts telling her who the ghost is and telling the dad who the ghost is. And
He's
this
been
other ghost
talking
is in here
to
too.
him.
He's been talking to him. Elaine's been helping him talk. And he finally tells his dad, you need to step over here so you don't get hurt. And the dad's standing there and you can see the kid like motion a little bit more. Dad takes another step, and where the dad steps away from, and I notice this, like where he steps away from after the son kind of
Yeah.
motions, the hatchet or whatever the hell
Yeah, a meat cleaver.
gets stuck in the wall, and the
Mhm.
mom is just, and they still stay
I
there.
know. It's
I'd
that
have
that's
grabbed
the unbelievable bit.
that kid would have been under
Although
my arm. I'd have been out the door. I'm losing everything. I don't give a crap. We're staying
that
at the
would
museum tonight.
that would have been my breaking point right there when it becomes violent like that. I would have moved in with no problem, but you start throwing knives, we're gone.
Well, what's funny is I don't know how much do we want to spoil? We usually always spoil all
Well,
these movies.
we
They're
do,
old
but there's
movies,
really, I
so
mean, this is a we can leave it at that. It's there's no need to go too
but
deep. It's a
I will say this: the ghosts aren't as bad as you think they are.
They're not. They're not. They're
They're
we do need
they
to
actually
mention that.
they have a plan. They have
Yeah.
a plan, and I think the kid figures out what the plan is. I think I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% whether the kid figured it all out. The dad is told what the plan is, but he doesn't understand it because you hear what he's being told, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And you start getting scared for somebody else in the family, and you're like, what the heck's
Yeah.
going on? But they basically, the ghosts have told what they're doing.
Yeah.
They just haven't made it very clear. So when it does finally happen, you're like, oh, well, yeah, of
Yeah.
course that's what they were saying.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what they
yeah.
were
Then
telling you.
up until that point, you think somebody well, basically the bad guy gets his in the end, pretty much.
Yeah,
But you're led to think that there may still be a chance that somebody in the family might bite it, and they don't. And
right.
this has a happy ending. Um, it's a comical family. I mean, they crack me up because it's just this movie was better than I thought it was going to be. I
Yeah.
really just thought this was going to be
Oh,
bad for some reason, and it's not. It's fun, and I'm a fan of the remake. In fact, I want to go watch the remake again.
right.
Um, but this is a good movie. I recommend watching it for sure. That's my
I
take.
might have to
Definitely go
watch
out and
the
watch
remake
it.
just to see how close is the remake to this?
It does involve a family inheriting a house from some
Uh,
crazy rich uncle who was capturing ghosts. Only this time he's capturing ghosts and he's using their essence or energy. He's like stealing their life force or their ghost
oh,
force or
their ghost
something.
life force.
He's more evil.
Oh,
But
okay,
the
okay.
ghosts that he has harvested are psychotic killers and really messed up people. So they're all
Yeah.
evil entities in the house, not like
Oh,
here
okay.
where they're a little more um,
They just want to
different.
go.
This
Th-
guy hunted down the most violent killer ghost he could find and put him in this house. So the movie has a different tone for sure.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because I'm sitting there watching this movie, going, "This is enjoyable," and then I was like, I don't know if they. I mean, in the remake, it never looked like that in the remake, and I was like, I don't know if they pulled that off in the remake. So I'm guessing that they didn't. They did. They went for a different tone,
They went straight
which
up
is cool.
horror.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's
And it's a
fine.
good
That
horror
works.
film. It is. It's
Yeah,
intense. It's exciting,
yeah.
and it's good. It's neat to see when I was watching this. It's like, oh wow, how cool is that? It's the same story.
That's
Just
cool.
the
That's
players
cool.
have changed and they gored it up quite a bit.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
That's fine. That works. I
yeah,
mean,
not gory like Feast,
what
but pretty gory.
Abigail?
Yeah, actually, probably not even as gory as Abigail.
Beast and
So
Abigail are pretty gory.
yeah, yeah,
Beast
yeah.
and
So
Abigail are pretty gory.
this to me, my take on it, it's a
Yeah,
fun family movie. Feels like a Disney night at the movies. It's
it
it's
does.
it hits all the beats. It's good. I recommend it.
Yeah, that little Charles Herbert, the kid who played Buck Zorba,
He's great.
he yeah, you're right. That he really does shine like a a Disney actor. Like
He
kid
does.
actor.
I just has a vibe, man, of these Disney movies.
Joe Moreau, the sister, the Medea Zorba, she reminded me of a lot of character actresses of the day, but she
Mm.
played the part pretty good. But even she was like, I almost got killed by this ghost last night, but I guess I'll just stay in my mom's bedroom for now, and I'm just gonna sleep in this
Well,
room first.
what was cool? This reminded me of what was it? Was it The House on Haunted Hill?
Yeah, yeah. Kat asked me about that. She goes, "Oh, this isn't the movie I thought it was," because I
Yeah.
think she thought we were redoing.
Ah, House on Haunted
Just
Hill. The reason I
yeah,
say that is because we have this spot where Ben is actually dressing up like Ghost and to scare people,
yeah,
to scare Medea and all of it, to try and get them out of the house because he knows the rich old uncle hid his money,
yeah,
liquidated all his assets and put it in cash and hid it in the
yeah.
house. So he's looking for it and he wants the family gone. So he's trying to scare him. What he doesn't account for is the ghost have other plans for him.
And
So
the ghosts are real.
these are the ghosts are real and the ghost don't take kindly to it. So it's
No,
interesting to see because the whole time I'm going in thinking the ghosts are going to be evil and they're really
yeah,
not.
yeah. And that's what when I started realizing that the ghosts were trying to protect the family.
Yeah.
That's when I started going, okay, now how are they going to protect? How is this going to play out? Like I know basically how it's going to end for at least one person, but how? How are you going to get to that point? And I liked how they got to the point. It's good writing, it's fun writing. William Castle was a genius at marketing, and evidently this movie was quite popular and a
Yeah.
hit.
Oh, I could see.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. And this makes me want to go back in time and see this movie, see it at the movie
Good, dude. That would be
with the
awesome.
thing, and I
Yeah.
would be like, "This is great." People would be looking at me like, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Tearing space and time behind me.
I did thoroughly enjoy this movie. I did.
Yeah.
And
Definitely a must watch.
I recommend watching it.
Definitely recommend. So, folks, if you like our show, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and check us out next week when we talk about something other old ass movie.
Yep.